Yo, what is going on, beautiful people of LeagueGaming.com? My name is Zumek, and we're back. We're back for a late night show. I haven't done a show in quite a while. I think the last one I did was for the trade deadline, but we're back, and we have some things to discuss. Right now, I have Roland J with me. How you doing, Roland J?
I'm doing good, buddy. I'm glad you brought me on here for a little bit.
He is currently the AGM of the Chicoutimi Saguenines, but he is also one of the founding members of the new LGCHL Players Association. I kind of want to just go over that real quick, ask him a couple of questions. So the LGCHL PA, I'm just going to read from their Discord. Their goals and their vision is to help develop and assist new owners and players wherever they may have questions. They're here to help answer any and all of your questions regarding ownership, rules, players, and owning rights, filing action centers, and even helping you appeal your bans. They're going to host chat rooms and do live Q&As and get your questions answered on the spot. They also plan on creating videos to show you exactly how to navigate the website and conduct certain taskings that the everyday player and owner need to be able to do. And their goal is to help develop the league and players in a positive way. So, Roland J, I have to ask you, what kind of led you and Pastor Gaines to come up with this idea and kind of get this whole thing started?
For most of you guys who know me and have been around the league for quite a while, you've seen me with my help desk, and we've helped quite a few management, new players, just kind of get a feel for everything in a management aspect. I've never really had somebody else to back me as much as Pastor was. And him and I got talking a couple days ago, and we decided, let's take this to another level. With the CHL starting to move into a direction of a full development league, they're planning on eventually moving the CHL out and allowing vets and most of your amateurs over there. So there is no dodging, but that leaves the CHL with a prospect only type proposition, maybe a few amateurs here and there. uh, but how is it going to survive if every new prospect comes into management and they don't understand anything? They don't know how to do the site. They don't know how to do setting lines, appeals, just ACs, everything. So Pastor and I decided we're going to get together. We're going to invite everybody in there. You come in. We have quick links to go through the site. Most of you guys know it took probably a season for you to go in and search for a certain role. I'm not saying, the LG site itself is pretty self-explanatory, but for new owners, you would always get that new question. Somebody come to you and say, hey, can you tell me where to find this? Can you tell me where to find this? So we created a link section where the constitutions are in there, and you can instantly, game time decision, within 30 seconds, go into the Discord, find the exact rule you're looking for. Boom, boom, there you go, you're ready to go. So, and our focus was that with the CHL becoming a full development league, we're hoping, it depends on how the big guys see this, but we're actually hoping within the next 2, 3 seasons, this really comes to life. And with LG's, ability to just keep growing and growing, and with all these tournaments going on, it has nothing to do but just keep going up. Easiest way to take some of this drama from the bogs is create this, let
Right.
them come into us. We will teach them everything that they need to know to become not really I can't say anything about your gameplay or your ability to create a team, but we will give you the tools that you need to be somewhat successful as a manager. um, the whole thing with that is you want to give them a good direction. You want to get them started. Myself, I've been doing the help desk for six to 8 seasons, and it seems to be a big help for a lot of these guys. I'm sure tons of LG members can tell you that I've literally walked them through step by step how to do this, how to do that. And with the PA Association, the way that we want this done is we want, TCs, owners, managers, roster players to be able to come in to the Discord and quick link to each other, instead of, having to go through, and most of your Discords, your team Discords, a lot of times you can't really hit the button and go straight to the Discord. So you have to copy and paste and then go back into the Discord and go that way. Sometimes it'll go through, sometimes it won't. Well, with this, we're going to have a section where new owners and management can file their own team discords, and players will be able to go straight into there and click that and go instantly into their discord, which as a new person myself, when I was learning this, I told the Bogs I knew as much as I could know to be able to have a team. I didn't know nothing. And I literally asked CJ and I asked Spartan and I asked Wizza and just Mike, all those guys. I literally asked them questions over and over and over again until finally it was like, now that I know this, I know that this is hard for a lot of new guys. So we're just going to do this for them and just see how it's going to go from there.
Right, and I was a few days ago. I was like looking at the shout box, and there were people discussing like how the site is just kind of like laid out. And guys like me and you have been around the league for like six years now, like real life years, and so we know the site. And some of these new guys come in here and they're just really fucking confused because they have no clue where to find anything on the website. So I think this whole Players Association Discord to kind of help the new members figure out where everything is and that kind of thing, answer their questions. I think it's a good idea. So if you are a new player to the league, I think it really is a good idea to go join this Discord server. And even if you've been here for like years, like I have, that I think it's a good idea to come in here and help out the new guys and kind of give your input because we will be kind of we will be giving our input into what we think should happen in the league and how to better develop our prospects and our amateur talents down here in the CHL. So I think nothing but good things can come of this. And there's a forum in the LGCHL forums that you can click and a thread that has the link to it. I recommend you guys go join the server. Go ahead.
Absolutely. And even some of you older managers who've been here for a long time, if you guys feel the need to want to help and you want to develop guys, and that's a lot of guys' focus is not only do they want to get themselves better, but they want to basically help mankind, so to speak, in LG. And that's the thing. If you guys who've been here for quite a while, if you want to join this, you want to come in and you want to help be a staff member for us and help these guys along, hey, the more the merrier. And the main goal here is, we want to take as much drama away from the bogs and the higher ups so they can actually focus on stuff that they can take care of. Because being in the management discord for 150 years now, there's so many petty questions that you should know, obviously, but a lot of guys don't know it. And you guys know sometimes it may take them a couple hours to respond back. And during a game time decision, that might be stressful. So if we could take a little bit less of that from them, I think in the long run it'll take the stress away from the bogs. It'll take the stress away from players, from owners,
For sure.
management, and everybody can kind of focus in on what they need to do.
Right, and you mentioned owners and managers. This isn't just going to be for the players. It's also for management because I know, and this isn't a hard on anybody, but quite a few management in the league. It's not their fault really, but they just don't really know some of the basic rules that are in the
Absolutely.
rule book. So I think this is a good way to get those guys educated, and I think it would be good for us to reach out to those guys and say, hey, if you need help, reach out to Second. I think so. My question to you, Roland, is what is your goal for the Players Association moving forward to the rest of the playoffs and in the off season and moving on to season 37?
Well, really, what we want to do right now is we just kind of want to get a family style base going on, and then we're going to ask a bunch of questions and let these guys kind of respond back with better ways to make their life easier through here. Yes, we are going right now. We do have the Discord wide open, and there's not it may be 75, 80 people in it right now, but that's a great start considering that most of it we sent to most managers, and we just put our link in a couple days ago on a forum post. But eventually, I want these guys to come in. I want them to come in here and get familiar with your management. Yes, we're not going to be taken away from a management Discord at all. There still will be a full management Discord. But if you have a question that you may not want to be brought out in the open, there will be a management section that only managers and our top end guys for our staff will be able to see. You have something, you think it's a stupid question, it's never stupid questions. Guys, mistakes, what are our worst mistakes? Everybody never asks for directions. I don't care who you are. Guys just do not ask for directions. We want you to
It's true.
be we want you to be able to come in and say, hey, I can't find this. Can you show me where this is? Well, there's a how-to section. You don't know how to put in stats? You don't know how to use API? Boom, go into the how-to section. We will personally show you how to set all this up. You don't know how to set your lines? Okay, there's a how-to section to setting your lines. You don't know how to file an AC, or you don't know what the proper listing of that AC is. The wording is
Hmm.
critical in this. And
Yes.
myself, I've had tons of ACs dismissed because I've put them in the wrong way. And then you ask somebody else, hey, what is this? What should I put this at? Well, you need to put this as this. And then me in my head, it's like, man, why didn't I think of that? So the way that we have it, I have former bogs in our staff list. We have guys who have been management, like you said, for 6 years or more. We've got guys in here who literally are fixtures to LG, and they know everything. And if one of us doesn't know something, somebody there will find it out quick. The whole thing is we are a family. LG will always be a family. You may have some of your bad apples there, but there are 80 to 85% of the people in this league want to see the next man up, better themselves. And that's the whole thing there. And when we get into it, there'll be a section for TCs to come in. Uh, Me myself, I'd like to talk to Fassetti, Soup, a couple of the other guys who are in control of the developmental league, and I want to see if they want to come in with us as well, and see if we can bring these TC guys in. And instead of just having red versus blue games, I'd also like to have like another set, maybe black versus gold, just anything, and start having up to 8 games a night for these TC guys and keeping them as super active as we possibly can. And I just feel like the more developmental league members that we can bring along, I think we will better the league itself.
Yeah, I think that this is a good thing for everybody. I wish I had something like this when I was first starting out. I think one of the main things for me is you mentioned it. You can go into this Discord server and you can ask questions about AC requests and ban appeals, and it's all anonymous. You just message either pastor or Roland and ask them like how
Yep,
the fuck do I actually set this up, because the way it's set up, it's kind of the league's throwing new guys like to the wolves and just say you figure out how to
absolutely.
file your AC, and that's it. But we're gonna be here to help you figure out that kind of thing, and I think this is a really good thing for everybody, and it can only be a
Yep.
good thing for the league. And I look forward to what's going to happen in the future, and I
Oh
appreciate you
yeah,
help me out. Appreciate you letting me help you out with
absolutely,
it,
man.
and
Yeah,
I look
and
forward to all the good things that come with it.
another thing, that's most of the new guys or most of the new management that I've talked to, their biggest issue here lately has been the filing of ACs and appeals and stuff like that,
Especially in
and
the playoffs.
oh yeah, not understanding certain rules like playoff rules. And we've instantly come in here and say, okay, so tell me your scenario. This is all anonymous. Obviously, nobody else is going to respond to anything else. We will not uh, be able to make any kind of rulings on any kind of ACs, but we will point you in the right direction to where a BOG member will look at it and be like, okay, this is the right section. This is this. Let's review this case, giving them a better opportunity of understanding what they did as to before. You've seen, if you go into the action center, you see so many cases are dismissed. And I look through and I see what the actual filing was for, and then you see what they tried to file it against, and you're like, dang, if he'd have went this way, that probably would have been a little bit different. And that's the whole goal here is, we want to try to make everybody's life as easy as possible, and just to keep this going. I mean, LG has gotten so big in I'd say the last 4 seasons. LG's probably at least doubled its growth. I think last season we had 8,000 members sign up. That's amazing considering when I first started. My very first run with LG was actually VHL a long time ago. I didn't really get any kind of play back then because I didn't know what I was doing. And I stepped away from VHL. And a buddy of mine finally sent me a message and said, hey, dude, come check this LG site out. So I went in, started looking around, figured out, hey, there's some guys that I've played with. I haven't played with in 3, 4, 5 years now. So started going through it, got my first chance of being a manager, And you're right. If we would have had something like this when we first started, we'd probably have a lot more managers who would be really willing to stick out maybe an entire year period of managing. And the goal with CHL, it is going to be development. It's always supposed to have been a development league, and that's the full goal. The goal is to make this where I can't tell you how to play, and I can't make your team better, but I can tell you how to do everything that you need to do to learn better. And a little quick note with that, uh, I've also started building some actual set designed plays. We'll be introducing trap styles, neutral zones, defensive breakout, offensive maneuvering, behind the net, set face-off plays. We'll learn you stuff like Omaha because that's the big thing now. The bump, just every little thing that you can do to better yourself at the game and to teach your children basically how to better themselves at the game.
Yeah, I saw Killer K in there teaching somebody how to play the trap. So good ups to Killer K for that.
I actually, be honest with you, I love Killa to death. Yeah, he's been one of my favorite guys for a long time. I think he was actually making fun of me saying play the trap, but I get it. And you know what? You're gonna have those guys who come in there and they've been here for a long time and they're gonna think this is a little bit redundant. But I get it, man. I mean, you're not gonna be able to help everybody, and not everybody's gonna want to come in there and take time off to make somebody else do something. There's a lot of people out there that want to do their own thing, and that's understandable. But we also want to let everyone know that there is a family in the back here that's waiting on you to come join the flock. And if you need to learn anything you need to learn, we will teach it to you.
Yeah, I think it would be a great thing for the league if they would, if the league would, like, whenever someone first joins the league and they get those messages like this is how to do stuff, all that stuff. I wish they would include the link to this Discord because I think it would be a really good tool for every new player that comes to the league. But that may be biased, but I don't know.
Well, it's like anything else, man. I'm not going to tell you how to vote, but I'm going to give you that option of what you want to vote for. So, we'll throw it out there every now and again. We'll send a little link just to let people know that hey, we're still here, and tons of people are joining. Right now, I say we've been in, I'd say 3 days now, and
Yeah,
we're averaging probably 20, 25 to 27 new players joining a day.
yeah. There's about
Now
70 people in the
that's
league in the server right now, so it's getting bigger.
okay. So that's even better than I thought. I thought there was about 60, 65, but I mean, still, we're going to grow, and if you want to come and grow with us, that's your choice. And if you just want to come in there for a little bit and you want to learn some things, and then you think you know what you need to know, and you want to get out, by all means, I am 100% okay with that. But the guys who want to stay there and they want to help everybody else, eventually you'll find out that there are more loving people in LG than you really thought there were. And again, I say this to everybody I've ever talked to. LG has always been a family type deal. And once we embrace that we all love each other and we all have the same goal, which is to play a competitive style hockey, that's that's the key. Everybody is there for each other. Everybody wants to see you succeed. That's in our chat, obviously. But we're all here for one another.
For sure, and I thank you for coming on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to add before I let you go?
Yeah, man. I want to say, Edgar, I love you to death, bud. But I don't think it's going to be as easy as you think it's going to be. And I'm going to say this now. I think it's going to be Saggies in 5.
Tough hot takes from the Sagwinians AGM. I appreciate you coming on, Roland J. It's been a pleasure.
Zumak, appreciate it, brother. Anytime you want to get me out here, man, I'm always here.
All right, sounds good.
Absolutely, my friend.
That was Roland J., agent of the Chicoutimi Sagwinians and founding member of the LGCHL Players Association and Support. This is a valuable tool, Discord server, for all new players and CHL members alike that want to help grow the league, want to ask some questions and that kind of thing. I think it's a good thing, and if you have the time, go to the CHL forums, look for that thread. I might post a link in the thread that I post this in as well. But go to that thread and click the join the Discord link, and then get yourself involved in this. It's a good thing for everybody. So gonna go ahead and transition over to our next topic, and I actually misclicked it earlier in the show, but this is the playoff drama. We had lots of things going on in round number one. If you've been living under a rock, that yeah, lots of things going on. Lots of things that have already been discussed by other media shows, but I'm gonna give my own personal takes and things that I know about the situations. So first off, we have Rapid City sweeping the Kalamazoo Wings in 5 games. Now it's a sweep because that one win that Kalamazoo had was in fact a forfeit. And if you go look into the way the Action Center went for that entire series, Rapid City or Kalamazoo rather actually didn't file that forfeit in game number 3 properly. They just kind of clicked the forfeit in the input score, and that was about it. The whole time CJ was telling them to play the game, play the game through, but they didn't listen to it, and so at the end of the series, the last game that Rapid City won, they had a 5-on-3 power play to start the game. So tough luck for Kalamazoo, their players. I bet their management, I bet they're not happy with their manager right now, how they screwed that up. But either way, tough. I personally thought Kalamazoo was going to win that series. I think many people did. It was overwhelming on the predictions percentage and the pick'ems thread, but either way, Rapid City takes that series. On to the next topic. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but Victoriaville just ceased to exist. They're no longer. They actually, in the middle of the series, you had that whole thing with the Storm, and they and CJ kind of told everyone that there's no forfeits tonight because CJ has no power, so there's no forfeits. And Victoriaville took advantage, and Drummondville had proof that Victoriaville had TCs available, but because their one guy on their main roster that was scheduled to play game number 3 wasn't available because of the Storm, they decided, you know what, fuck it, we'll reschedule the games like we're allowed to per the rules, and that was that. Even through that whole entire time, Victoriaville wasn't answering questions by anybody. Victoriaville's management disappeared. They actually deleted their Discord, and the members of the Victoriaville Tigers team filed an AC against their own management for deleting the Discord, and Victoriaville ended up forfeiting the games anyways. So Drummondville takes that series in 5 games. In my opinion, after all of this, I think Victoriaville, their management should definitely be on the no management list. They threw the playoffs, basically, because they had a chance to win game number 3. I think that's why they were, trying to reschedule the game in the first place, but they should never be management again. The way they handled that situation, and it was just tough. And I think CJ, the way he made the ruling that there was no forfeits in that one night, I think that was actually not a good thing on his part either, because it left room for exploitation like this. And so after that, also had an effect on the WHL that whole night with the reschedules for the Storm, because Saskatoon ended up forfeiting their game number 7. I think Moose Jaw was down 3-1 in the series, and they rescheduled both of those games. So they were playing games 5, 6, and 7 on Wednesday night. So 7:30 or 8:30, 9:30, 10:30 Eastern time. And Moose Jaw actually ended up winning games 5 and 6 that night, to the surprise of the Saskatoon manager, because I believe that he actually scheduled the games the way he did because he believed that his team was going to win in 5 or 6, and it wasn't even going to go to game 7. But regarding the game 7 forfeit, the way it went down was Saskatoon, their 6 players that was playing game 7 all had CBJ at the time that the game 7 was to take place. And they actually told their CBJ people that, hey, we're actually not going to play CBJ. We have this game 7 to play in the CHL. And then Heartbreaker came back and he said, I want to play this TCD man instead of the D-man that you guys have been running with all season long. And the Game 7 players said, fuck you, we're playing CBJ. And that's why the Saskatoon Blades had to forfeit Game 7. So, obviously, poor management. Heartbreaker didn't have control of his team. He was out of touch with his players. Didn't even ask his Game 7 line whether they could play that Game 7 time in the first place. But that's just shitty on his part. It was bad all around. So yeah, that's that. That's the drama for this round. Moving on to round number 2, the predictions. I have all these series lined up here. I'm going to give my personal opinion. Obviously, a lot of you guys are not going to agree with me, but that's okay. We're just going to go into it, possibly rapid fire. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. So, the first series, I have Hamilton winning in 7 games, and this is my reasoning, right? Barrie, last season, fucked up, and on number 1, they choked. And if you look at the season series, Hamilton has 3 wins, and Barrie has 1. And one of those Hamilton wins, you can think, it's just because it was before the trade deadline, all that stuff. One of these the last game that Hamilton won was after the trade deadline, and it was just a couple weeks ago in week 7, I think it was. So Hamilton has beaten Barrie a majority of the times they've played him this season, and they beat him recently. So I think Hamilton takes this game in 7. They will shock the world. Huge upset, Cinderella story. Hamilton takes it in 7. Now, next series, it's also another upset. I think Ottawa takes this game in 7. Now, if you watched my show, like around the trade deadline, I did a show where I did the entire bracket, and I said Ottawa is my sleeper team, and they still are. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, you guys may think it's wrong. The Petes, obviously, they're a really good fucking team, right? But in my opinion, Ottawa has the better depth and the better goaltender tandem, so they will take it in 7. On to the next game, I think Windsor will take this series in 5. I would say 4, but they won their last series in 5 as well. They lost that one game, so I think they might do the same. Hell, it might even go 6, who knows. But Windsor is just way too good of a team. I think they're favorites to win the MIM this season. As everybody has stated, Windsor's just too good. They'll win this series in 5. Next series, Erie's going to win this in 6. They have a better goaltender tandem, and that new line they had after the trade deadline, AB made some really good trades, and he brought on Oki and Moki onto his line, and I think they'll win both their games. And I think Kitchener will win too, because they are a really strong team. Excuse me, they're a really strong team. They have great line depth, but I think they'll only take 2, and Erie will win in 6. They're hot, and I think this is just Erie's a better team. You guys may think I'm wrong, but it is what it is. That's that for the OHL. On to the Q. I have Halifax in 4 games. Sorry, Roland J, but I have Halifax in 4. I respect the upset that Chicoutimi did in the first round, but if you look at the season series, Halifax has won both the games they played against Chicoutimi, and I think Halifax is just the better team. Edgar builds really good playoff teams every single year. His team always goes deep into the playoffs. I think they made it to at least the finals in the QMJHL. I think it'll be a sweep, but I think every single game will be a 1-goal game / overtime, and I think Halifax takes it in 4. On to the next series, I have Springytown taking this game in 7, and my reasoning is this because the teams that both of these teams beat in round number 1, Springytown beating Drakkar in round 1, and the Titan beating Quebec in round 1. The Islanders won their series in 6 games, and the Titan won their series in 7. And in my opinion, the Quebec Remparts are not as good of a team as the Drakkar are. So the Islanders beat a team that's better in less games. They're taking this series in 7. I think this is my series to watch for the QMJHL. This will be a close series, and it'll be fun to watch. I look forward to calling one of their games this week as well. So on to the next one, I have Drummondville taking it in 5 games. I mean, Drummondville, what can you say about this team? It's the best team in the QMJHL, by far. They made some really good trades at the deadline that really boosted their team, and yeah, I don't see them losing this series at all. I think they'll maybe lose one game. Pastor Gaines built a decent team over there in Gatineau. But I think with the 5-1 season series wins, Victoriaville, their depth is just too big. They'll win this game. They'll win the series in 5. On the next one, Val-d'Or is going to win this series in 6. Wizza is a playoff owner. He builds really good playoff teams. He knows how to work the action center. You saw last season the way he handled that. I think he gives his team the best chance to win playoff series. So Val-d'Or will win in 6, and they have the edge in the season series. Obviously, Chicoutimi not Chicoutimi. What is it? The Saguenayans. Shawinigan. Jesus fucking Christ, my fault. I'm terrible today. Shawinigan. Obviously, they have a good team, but Val-d'Or will win in 6. That's just my prediction. On to the next series. I have Tri-City winning their series in 6. I was in the WHL for 7 weeks, so I know the WHL pretty well, and I've played both of these teams. Obviously, Everett is a really good team, but I think Tri-City has more depth, but I think Everett will sneak 2 games. So for that prediction, I have Tri-City in 6. On the next one, Kamloops in 6. Kamloops is riding high off of their 4-0 season's playoff round number 1 sweep, my fault, over the Seattle Thunderbirds. And that was a series that I think a lot of people expected to be a lot closer, but Kamloops just ran through Seattle, and I think they will win this series as well in 6 games. They're just a better team. On the next one, Moose Jaw is going to win this one in 5 games. Obviously, Red Deer had that huge upset over the Winnipeg Ice. I think it's hard to vote against them in this instance, but if you look at the way the Winnipeg Ice were kind of going, obviously they were top of their conference in the WHL, but they were just falling apart. The management was the owner and the GM were not on the same page. The players were bickering at each other, bickering at management, players taking sides, and it was just really bad. So they just fell apart after the trade deadline, and during round number 1, they were not on the same page as well. So I think Moose Jaw wins this one in 5. Obviously, they're riding high off of their first round upset against Saskatoon. So I think this will be a good series. I played with Moose Jaw in the FNB tournament last night, and they're actually surprisingly good. So I think Moose Jaw will win this series in 5, and they may go farther in the playoffs than many people will expect. So we'll see. Next round, I think Regina will win this series in 6 games. They have the 2-0 season series win, and if you look at the stats for all of the players, every single player that has played Edmonton that's on Regina currently has won every single one of their games against Edmonton, and every single player in Edmonton that has played Regina that is on the team now has lost against Regina. So I think this is the case of experience. They know how the teams play, and Regina will win in 6. Edmonton will sneak 2, but that's how I think the series will go. I look for Rick, and I have here in parentheses and Oxy, but who really cares about Oxy, right? Toxic. I think Rick will carry the team, and I think if Oxy shows out, I think this will be an easy series for Regina. On to the next series, I have Brampton in 4. And, that's all I'm going to say about that. Brampton in 4. They're going to win the man. Is what it is. Next series, I have Newfoundland winning this series in 7 games. I think this just like the series over there in the QMJHL between the Islanders and the Titan, I think this is going to be the series to watch for the ECHL. It will be a close matchup, but I think Newfoundland has the edge. Dallas has built a really good team over there in Newfoundland, so this is how I think the series will go. Newfie in 7. Next series, Tulsa is going to win this one in 6 games. Obviously, last round sweep in 5 for Rapid City. Obviously, they're buzzing right now. Captain Paul has built a really good team in the playoffs. He's smart. He got them that power play, and Captain Paul stood on his head for a lot of those games against Kalamazoo. But I think Tulsa is just too good. They have all that depth. They've basically ran through the entire conference. in the ECHL. So, in my opinion, Tulsa in 6, but don't count out Rapid City because they proved people wrong last series. So they could do it again, but right now Tulsa's too good. Tulsa in 6. On to the last series, I have Utah in 4, but I think like the series over there in the queue with Halifax and Chicoutimi, I think they'll be close games. Utah is a really good team. J-Piss and J-Piss is riding off of that huge series he had. He played outstanding. He played great in the All-Star tournament thing as well. So I think Utah is just a better team. J-Piss is an amazing goalie. But don't count out the Toledo Walleye, though. They were actually the last undefeated team this season. They didn't lose a game until week number 2, the second game of that week. So I think Toledo has a chance to maybe make this series, but I think Utah is just too good. I'm on the Utah train along with a lot of other people. I think they will run through that conference, and I don't know. We'll see. I think they'll do better than a lot of people thought to begin with. They've surprised a lot of people. Obviously, getting rid of Germaniac helped them because we all know how that works out. Germaniac, not very good. Anyways, that's it. That's my playoff prediction for this round. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the show. Thank you to Pass Through Games for coming on the show. Obviously, join that Discord. I will probably provide the link in the thread, but we'll see you guys on the other side. My name is Zumek. You've been watching On the Mic, and we'll see you.